from Montco Radio, Music and Minds Meet is your host Deja, and today I come bearing gifts. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
We got Mike Kiett in the building today. How you feeling today? How you doing?
I'm feeling good. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you. Last time I seen you, I was in like stressed bride mode for this
commercial.
Yeah, you
were doing your thing, breaking down in tears and stuff like that.
Trying to cry. It was something forever. Definitely. So, after I met you that day, I followed you on Instagram clearly, and I got to see that you came out with this book.
Yes.
So, tell me about this book and what the vision is for.
Okay. The book is Darkness to Light, How to Learn Entrepreneur from a Retired Drug Dealer. Okay. Now, the principle behind the book is to show people who sold drugs how the skills that they retain can be used to transfer over to business.
Right.
So, I try to erase some of the language, like marketing and branding, and express to them how we already been doing that, how we already been marketing, how we already been branding by giving out samples and, you know, calling yourself, saying you're from North Philadelphia, you're from 23rd Street, stuff like that is branding. So I go through a bunch of stories of things I went through selling drugs, and I express to them how it can be transferred over to business, doing the things that we already was doing.
Right.
So
that's amazing. I love the concept because, okay, so not only are you telling the story about being in the drug world, but you're also telling people in the corporate world why they should look into these people.
Right.
What was your thought process when you were coming out with that, when you decided to do that?
Oh, man. Well, really, to be honest, when I wrote the book, it kind of was just, I needed something on paper. I had just got off tour the year before doing spoken word.
Oh, cool.
And I was a self-paid tour. So it was like my own thing. And I was trying to get into the movies, but I just needed something with my name on it so that I can say, like, I'm an author. I mean, you can say you're a poet, but I mean, I guess anybody can do poetry.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
so I had to do that, and then so I wrote the book. So I came up with steps, and I just built the outline behind it, because the thing is, I went to college before I started to sell drugs.
Okay, cool. What did you go for?
I went to, I was going to be a corporate lawyer, so I went to school for business first.
Oh, cool.
Right. So what I did was I transferred everything I learned in the classroom, and I decided to get my own product, which was drugs. So I was taking finance and business and marketing classes. So I just...
Is that crazy how you can be so smart? So smart but doing something crazy. That's crazy though.
So that's where it came from.
So how's the book been doing so far? Have you been able to get it out there to people who are in these corporate worlds and like...
I have been trying to market it around. I mean, I've got the Philadelphia Library is accepting my book to put it in the library.
Congrats. Awesome. Okay.
I talked to a few Project Homes. Lady read the book and wants me to teach an entrepreneur class. It's only been out for about 2 months, so it's still got a lot of marketing, a lot of work to do. So yeah. For
sure. So writing the book overall, was there a chapter that you wrote? Because you know you said that the chapters are based off like your experiences or anything.
Right.
So how was it writing certain chapters? Did one chapter take you back to like that dark point where when you came back to reality, you were like, oh snap, thank God I overcame all of this? Was there a specific chapter?
I don't know. I think more people that watch me go through it was more upset. And my mother cried. My mentor said they cried and laughed. And then my grandma and them, but I didn't feel it. I don't know. I wrote the book in 10 days. It was a 10-day challenge to see if I could write the book. So I wrote the outline and I wrote the book. So
really?
That's pretty much how it was. And I just got out of jail in October 2016.
Okay.
So when I came home, I was like going to life coaches and just trying to find yourself, because the truth is, most of it, well, a lot of us, it's not about learning something new. It's really about forgetting a lot of old things.
Right.
So I went to a lot of psychiatrists and stuff like that to get things out, and they was just telling me to stop hiding behind my mistakes and put them out in the forefront.
That's true.
So that's when I just came with the concept. When I was writing, I pretty much was laughing the whole time.
You're like, I can't believe I did this. Like, I was doing this. So how in depth do you go in these chapters with your story?
I only put what I've been arrested for.
Okay.
So we explain that. I also don't glorify it, so I leave some of my super highlight moments out of it. I basically just break it down like how a person would do it in business. Somebody that's trying to come up, somebody that was broke, and then got some money and then went broke again, and going back and forth throughout that process. Just understanding the business aspects and stuff like that. Okay. It's not really bragging about dope money or nothing like that.
Right.
Not it's
girl be like, okay. Well.
Yeah, no, not at all.
So my second question was going to go into like how the right. So there was a chapter that took you down to that point, but then also was a chapter that made you happy and excited. So do you have a chapter like that, or are you just saying like the overall book? Or it's just like
it's pretty much over.
Just writing it all.
Yeah, man. So I stopped at where I'm at right now in life. So a lot of people were waiting for part 2. Like people that read it are like, yo, what's part 2 about? But I haven't really finished living that part yet. So I'm still working on that. The only chapter that really probably resonated with me the most was the in-between stories of being in prison. So the reason why I stopped selling drugs was because of drug rehab programs.
Okay.
Which is crazy, which is like kind of a cop-out. You sell drugs and you plead that you use drugs, you can get less time. So the last time
really?
Okay.
So
last time I was in jail, I was facing like 48 years, and then they wanted to let me talk on the stand, and I talked, and a couple college professors came, and they let me go home. You know what I mean? But they forced me to take drug rehab classes of heroin addicts, and because that's what I got locked up for.
Okay.
And being on the other side, actually listening to all the things that they sacrifice, grown men losing their wives and their kids and their houses and females losing their babies, and it made me start looking at things a lot differently. It was kind of the only thing that really waked me up.
Yeah.
Because when you're on the one side of making money, you don't see that. It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, people that sell cigarettes, most of them probably don't smoke cigarettes. You know what I mean? But they sell them, but they don't understand it until maybe their wife died of the cigarette that they were selling.
At home.
Right. So that's kind of how it was. So in between chapters, I had people I would talk to in prison. I would break down. Like I would start off with a real harsh drug, and then as time go on, I wind up going from cocaine into weed. You know what I mean? To the littlest thing that you could possibly sell. But the conversations of the inmates that I would have with in prison resonated with me probably the most.
So then I was going to ask you, what was your turning point? What was the point? Do you remember when the light bulb went off at a moment and you were like, yo, I'm tripping right now?
Last job there, actually. From 20 to 30, this is the longest I've been home.
Wow.
So it's almost 2 years straight, you know. So, but I've gained and lost it all about 4 or 5 times already.
Yeah, and did it hit you until after the multiple mistakes?
Kind of like, it's two different people in the world. Some people, like, when they fail, it deters them. And some people, when they fail, they try to figure out how to be better.
Right.
So for a long time, I just kept trying to figure out how to be better. No matter how many times I went to prison, how can I be better at playing both worlds? That was my whole goal.
So you were trying to do better.
I was trying to do both. Because the whole thing was you follow one path, which college teaches you and stuff, and you take this path, and at the end of the day, it's still about your connections and your networks. And the only thing that trumps connections and networks is your own cash.
Yeah.
So I sold drugs to finance me going through college, to try to get through law school so that I can start my own law firm and other business that can produce income. So in my head, weed was black. White people was easy to get credit and loans.
Right.
I used what was available to me for cash, and I was trying to implement that and become the positive. So for a long time, I wasn't, that stop selling drugs thing didn't make sense. Like, because I knew what the goal was.
You was really living the best of both, not the best of both worlds, but you was living two different lives.
I was living 2 lives for a long time.
Wow. But it was like, it's so crazy because you realize how smart you were. Right. Or you are. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's how it went. I was in college, same thing. I had a professor that told me, I was going to school to be a lawyer. Professor told me that entrepreneurship was the best way.
Okay.
And that I was going to need credit and money. And that's how I started to sell drugs in college until I got locked up. I got locked up right before I took my LSAT to go to law school. And then I had to be forced to come to the streets. And now I had to learn how to sell drugs in the streets.
So how much of school did you actually get to before
I did 3 years.
Oh, you went through it.
I had 1 more year left, yeah. 1 more year left. And then they started me all over, and I had to start on. They only allowed me to keep 1 year because of my discipline. And then I went back through college again, and this time I went back Dean's List, President of the Finance Club, all that type of stuff. And then got locked up again because I still was doing both worlds. I just weren't that world better.
Yeah, you was working that good.
Yeah, it worked out. So that's really how it went. But this last time I was in prison, I read 3 books: Power of Now, 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, and a book by Russell Simmons, Do You.
Okay.
And that kind of would change everything. I mean, my whole principle was that they wasn't going to let me be a millionaire selling drugs if I was done selling drugs.
Right.
It had nothing to do with prison. It had nothing to do with all the dangers behind it.
The money real quick,
yeah, that's all it was. They wasn't going to let me get as big as I wanted because they kept messing everything up.
So what was your end goal? So do you remember what was your vision for yourself?
I thought I was going to sell drugs till I got out of law school. I was supposed to save up $250,000, which was going to be a down payment. I was going to be starting my own law firm. I wanted to be in corporate law because lawyers, it was only 3% minority in corporate law.
Wow.
So that was the goal.
So you were like really doing it to support your dreams.
Yeah, it really was.
Wow. So have you met?
But you get caught up though.
Yeah.
You started to live life. I started to get very away from I was selling drugs. So
but that was your vision.
But the vision was that.
So how many young guys do you think are actually doing that, like for their dream, or you think a lot of them are just?
I don't know. I think that most people who sell drugs is usually that is their dream, and only because you only can chase what you've been exposed to.
Right.
So their level of success ends with drug dealing. The fact that I started selling drugs while I was in college, I already seen something much bigger and just thought that I was going to use the selling drugs to get there.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it depends on what you're exposed to early.
And I feel like now they start younger, so they don't even think about the whole college portion of it.
Yeah, I don't think so. See, when I went to college, it was like affirmative action that just started. Not too many black people who ever went to school.
Okay.
You didn't really have to be smart. It was coming through just basically, if you had a 900 on SAT score, you was going to school for free. Well, you was getting all financial aid.
Yeah.
So when I went, it was a real rush of all black people trying to get to college. A lot of us didn't know what we was going there for. A lot of us had no intention of going there.
Yeah.
Just a lot of hood guys up there, a lot of dumb people, a lot of people didn't really pay no mind. And a lot of schools I was going from, bouncing back and forth, were being turned into the hood.
Right.
Like people were fighting, people were carrying guns, people were selling drugs. It was nothing like you would think college was. It was nothing like that when I went to school. Yeah, nothing. The way that I see, but some people had a totally different college experience. Because some people I went to college with never knew none of that was going on.
Right, you get like two different vibes. Like, it depends
crazy.
On who you're really around.
Yeah,
like,
it depends.
There's a lot of stuff that's happening.
And I kind of surrounded myself by mostly all white people, and I didn't realize that all white people got high. See, that's really how it started. So I was a pizza delivery guy.
Okay.
And I would deliver pizza, and I was surprised by the first time a white guy answered the door high off weed. It was at a fraternity house. And I was so taken back, and I went back, and I couldn't believe it. And I was talking to my roommate. He was white. And I was like, I didn't even know y'all got high. And he was just like, you crazy. Like, that's all we do. And I'm like, really? So my idea was, okay, I could be the pizza guy so I can bring the weed and the munchies. So once I started selling the weed, it got too big to the point where they was only calling asking for me. And then, well, you got to read the story. And then it goes. Oh
my God! Wait, what chapter is that? That's not fair.
Yeah, that's the very beginning.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's kind of how it started. Then,
that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Good.
Yeah, I can't wait to read this. Okay, so wait, have you been able? So you said that you have been able to get this book to younger guys.
Right. I got this book to some younger guys. Most people who like the book are people who live both worlds.
Still, or they did?
They did and didn't know. Or a lot of guys who were like sheltered first and then broke out later on.
Okay.
So they was like going to school was going to be something positive and then turned around. Some guys still don't understand the transition to the business side, but the people who've never ever been in the streets, ever. Businessmen, what you call them, superintendent in Camden, a lot of different people who've never been in the street read the book and fell in love with it.
Yeah,
they opened their eyes to what drug dealing is. I didn't know there was so much behind it. I didn't know there was so much.
I can't wait to learn what's going on, how it works.
So my marketing's twisted actually. So now I'm shooting towards HBCUs and more professional people. When before I was shooting towards hood guys to try to teach them business. But now it's like more business people want to learn the qualities and traits that people from the hood have. So that's the market I'm shooting.
Isn't it crazy though how you could write a book based on your true life and to some people this is like a fiction novel or something? Yeah. Like I'm about to go home and read this. Like this is like one of the little books at the bookstore.
Right. Yeah, and that's crazy. Yeah.
That's big. So does that make you actually think about? But that's not the same thing. But does it make you think about writing books, like just to be a writer and like?
But that's all I want to do. Really, that's all I want to do. So that was just a test to see. Like I said, I did it in 10 days. Right now I'm just working on films. I really like scripts. Really, that's what I really like. But books come easily. They come a lot more easier because you can just talk. Okay. And in a film, in a script, nothing can be in a script that can't be seen or heard.
Gotcha.
So when you write in a script, if you write anything about your actor thinks or the person, you assume you can't put that in a script because it can't be seen. So it's a lot more technical. And then scenes are broken down by scenes. It's a lot more advanced into it, but when the book, I could just ramble.
You just go ahead and
go. You know what I mean? I just organize and I can go.
So tell me about the poetry side. So,
okay.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
Right. So what happened was probably about 3 weeks before I got out of prison, before I went to trial, I was calling a friend. I was calling home, talking to a friend, and you know how you got friends who rap. And don't nobody want to tell them that they bad. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I tell you.
You tell you.
Oh, I gotta tell you.
I
can't help it. All right, so one of my guys, he wasn't really that good. And I was trying to tell him, like, yo, it's not really that good. And it's not what you're saying, it's just the way you say it just makes no sense.
Right.
So he challenged me to go and write something. So I would write something, and I would come back and I would say it.
Okay.
And then he would love it. And then I would start calling all my friends, like, yo, what y'all think about this? What y'all think about this? So they was thinking I was, like, other people were saying it to me. And I'm like, no, it's me. They're like, you gonna come on rapping? I'm not rapping. No, I'm too old to start rapping. So when I came home, I just got into the spoken word.
Okay.
So my goal was to be able to make poetry interesting.
Yeah.
So I spit a lot of words as far as motivation. All my poems are either motivation, women empowerment, or like streets.
All right.
But I talk about it in a different way so everybody can kind of understand it. And then what I did was, I did a couple challenges. People really liked it. I named myself the retired drug dealer, and I just started going in every open mic in different cities, just so people knew who I was. I got really attached to LA. I was going out to LA like twice a month.
Really?
Yeah, because that's kind of what. Then I went from there, and then I took acting classes from there, so that my stage performance could be better.
That's cool.
And then that's when I realized that people thought I could act. So then I went back out to LA on an acting mission. And then I met a screenwriter who wrote a couple next Friday after next.
Okay.
And I paid him $50 an hour to mentor me through script writing. He thought I had a natural talent, and then he fell in love with my writing, and then started doing a lot of it for free.
Wow.
And then I got good, and then now I know that's what I want to do.
That's what you're going to do. That's
I did.
That's what's up, though. That whole process. It sounds quicker, but I know it was more of a journey than what it sounds like just now.
It hasn't been 2 years yet. It'll be 2 years in October.
Wow, so that's big.
It's a lot. But like I said, if you want to change, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of smacking your face. I mean, everything. I had to change everything. I went vegan.
So you're official. You're done.
Yeah, I'm vegan. I was vegan once I got out of jail. I did 30 days no meat, 30 days no chicken, 30 days no fish.
You eat yourself off of it.
Yeah. So in 4 months, I was vegan.
So would your tip be for somebody trying to change? Would your tip just be patience then?
What, to change?
Yeah, in general. Changing a lifestyle.
See, the problem when you tell people patient is that means they start to slack a lot. You need patience.
I know.
You definitely need patience in life but the thing is, we're all living in the present moment. So patience doesn't have to do with the future. It got to do with right now.
Gotcha.
Because the future might not come. You know, you can't control what's going to happen in the future, and whatever happened in the past is done.
Right.
The only thing that really matters is right now, because when the future comes, it's going to be right now.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Once that moment comes. So have patience with your process, with yourself. But every day, you should be running at full speed to change.
That's so true. Now I think about it, because I know in my mind I'm thinking, okay, I just gotta have patience. But now I'll be like just chilling on the couch, like, okay, I'm just gonna stay here and wait for something to happen.
Nah.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's that.
So patience is different. I think people understand. People think patience got to do with time, and it don't. It got to do with it's a mindset.
Yeah.
It's an understanding. It's a control. Being patient is just understanding that you know what you're going through, not worrying about the end result.
Gotcha.
Just staying in the present moment. That's what real patience is. It has nothing to do with time at all. You can be patient and get things done in 2 days. Or you can be patient and get things done in 2 weeks.
Right.
Doesn't matter. Because anybody that's making money, anybody that's really doing things successfully, chasing their dream, they're moving at a fast speed.
They are.
But they're still patient, because if it take you 5 years to make it somewhere, and they worked 16 hours every day. Well, they was patient for those 5 years, but they had to put a lot of working every day. So just imagine if you being patient only going 3 hours a day.
Right.
It's going to take you a lot longer than 5 years.
Much longer.
Yeah. But the way the world is now with social media and stuff, you can put 10 years worth of work in 3 years.
You can. That's true.
You can put 10 years worth of work in.
That's really true.
You
can do anything now.
It's not that hard to put that much. You can really round your resume up. Like you said, you was on 500 interviews already, right?
Mark made that up.
Oh, you made it up? I was all like, wow.
Right, like, dang, she's young and she did it.
Yeah, but that's great, though.
Right.
But you can. You know what I mean? I started trying to do the content thing with the motivation and stuff.
Yeah.
And I got discouraged because I was doing the thing where I wake up at 5 o'clock every morning. So I would show my clock, let everybody know it really was 5.
Yeah.
I would get some type of motivational, because the thing I hate about motivational speakers, and not to talk bad about anybody, is that most of the time they're just talking. They're not giving you nothing you can really implement.
I know. Yeah. It's just like, wait, rewind. Cause what did you just say? I'm confused.
Yeah, what does it mean? Like, hey, you gotta go out, you gotta wake up, you gotta chase your dream, you gotta go get it, you gotta go do this. You be like, well, what does that mean? But how?
I
Of course.
that? Yeah, like,
how
okay,
I do
get
it.
that.
So what I was doing was reading books by like Tracy Fisher, and all these other different guys, and I would break it down in our terms.
Okay.
So like my thing that I stand by today is the 4-hour time block.
Okay.
I think that saved me. I think it's the best. So every morning I wake up at 5 in the morning, and from 5 to 9 I write. No matter what, it's a 4-hour time block. And then once 9 o'clock comes, from 9 to 12, I focus on one of my businesses for 3 hours, which is a lot, even though it doesn't seem like it, because they say that we work 8 hours, but only 3 to 4 of those hours are actually productive.
Right.
So if you focus strictly 3 hours on one thing, you can get total 3-hour productivity.
That's true.
So at 12 o'clock, I done already did my craft and did my business. So now it's time to work out, meditate, yoga. I do all of that stuff throughout the rest of the day. And then I just figure out what I'm going to do the rest of the day after that.
Okay.
Progression. But the 4-hour time block comes from Jerry Seinfeld. And he was telling people, like, the reason why he's the greatest comedian ever is because his whole career, he wrote every day, jokes 4 hours every day, no matter what.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's something new that I need to work on.
And it really works, though. If you don't care if it's 2 hours, you start off with 1.
Because I try to do everything at once. I'll do my workouts for like an hour, and then I'm like, okay, yoga. Okay, wait, now let me do my makeup. It's like I confuse myself. But it's like, no, I feel like I wasn't productive at all. I did things.
But then you didn't even know you was doing it because you was rushing through them.
Yeah,
you didn't even feel the present moment. It's all about that present moment. You gotta read the power now. It makes you slow life down.
Okay.
Slow life down. Because time is really man created.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It is.
It really is.
That's my excuse for like when I'm late somewhere. I'm like, well, we know this is fake, right?
Right,
this ain't
real.
No,
it really is. And the guy would say, like, if you put an animal in the jungle, you're not gonna know this February. If he put you in the jungle, you're not gonna know this February. If 5 years pass, you're not gonna know it's 5 years. You're gonna still be living in the present moment right now. Time is created by man.
That's so
It's a system of control.
So that's true.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Look at you, dropping some jewels and helping a sister out today on this lovely Friday.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
No.
So what's up next? Tell me what's going on. What can we expect?
A short film that I'm working with.
Okay.
I met Lindsay. We'll be dropping that in September.
Okay.
I got another short film that I'm trying to drop at the end of August. So my whole thing is to try to drop 4 by the end of the year.
Okay, cool.
They're already written down. I want 15 to 20 of them on my resume before I write a feature, and then go after some funding, and then try to do my own movie then.
Okay.
So that's the goal right now.
That's exciting. So where are we going to see you at in 5 years? If you could give me a visual of what you see for yourself.
In 5 years, I'll have the perfect body.
Okay.
But hopefully in 5 years I'll have a full feature film, if not more than one, done. I hope to have a program that will reach back out to the youth, a real program.
Okay.
Not just one that just talks, but something that really helps people fund what they want to be in life.
Okay. That would be cool.
And a couple more books, hopefully. I just want to be a writer, so I want to write everything. My goal is to get an award and everything. So an Emmy, an Oscar, a Grammy, and a Tony.
Get you a Grammy.
Yeah, I'm trying to get all of them.
Yes, that's big goals.
That's the goal.
That's definitely big goals.
Who knows how long that's going to take. But see, the thing is, when you write, I could write from 60.
Yeah, you can write all the
like
time.
80 something.
Yeah, just be writing. Get it out there.
Yeah, you good. I write a movie, I do acting.
Write a little song.
Whatever I want. I'm just going to write a rap. You never know.
Maybe write for the Migos song.
You never know. You never know. You never know where it's going to take you.
Right. That's what's up. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time and coming in today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely. So can we give your Instagram name out so people can follow you?
Yeah, my Instagram is Mike, Mike_Kiett, Kiett. YouTube channel is the THEERDD, retired drug dealer.
Okay.
Check me out. Facebook, my name too, Mike Kiett. So check me out right now.
Good thing I didn't get it because they would have been like, "What's the W?"
What's the W?
Because I don't know where I came up with.
Yeah, I don't even have a W in my middle name. I don't know where you got that from.
No, it was a W.
No,
I see the W.
No, you couldn't have seen the W.
Oh no.
No, maybe it was the at sign blended in with the K.
Oh no. I couldn't pronounce it last night for nothing. I'm like, what is going on? Okay, guys, when we come back from the break, I'm going to take Mike into the Imperfect Talk Show world.
Okay.
You ready for that?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, cool. So we'll be right back on the Imperfect Talk Show.
Great.
Hey guys, so welcome back to the Imperfect Talk Show here on Monco Radio. Music and Minds Me. We got Michael. I'm sorry, I'm calling you Michael. Is that okay?
That's okay.
Sorry, Mike Kiett.
Yeah.
And I want to say we. I'm just like all bad over here because I don't know where I got that W from still. I'm still trying to figure all of that out. So we just watched a great interview on your book, Darkness to Light, that I'm really excited to share with you guys later. But to bring you into the Perfect Talk Show world.
Okay.
Alright. So on Wednesdays and Thursdays, usually I do like polls on Instagram. Not like real petty, real immature. Not immature, but like just like little stuff to get a yes or no answer. The gist of like what people are going through. So my last question I talked about last week, and I just want to have your input, see what you think about it.
Okay.
Elaborate for me a little bit.
Right.
The question was, does having a first love mean you were actually in love, or is there a difference in being in love and having a first love?
I think it's the same. I mean, because your first love is when you, I mean, what's the difference? I'm trying to understand what's the difference, because if you was in love and then you had a first love, wasn't your first love the one that you first was in love with?
No. It sounds like that because you can have a first love, but you don't really know what you don't know what being in love is like. You just have a love.
No. What you're saying is that if you're in love at one point in life, let's say you're 14,
and you're in love with 14-year-old, 14, and then when you come 21, and people like, you don't know what love is. Yeah, 21 is that love is way different than 14, but it doesn't take away from the fact that you really was in love at 14. Just because love changes when you get older, it doesn't stop the emotional aspect that you felt in your heart.
But your emotions are different.
It's just because you grow. Everything's different. It's just like if you met somebody at 40, the same things wouldn't attract you that you met when it was 20. You wouldn't feel the same. You're going to feel differently when you're 40. You're going to feel differently when you're 50 because life will be different. Your expectations is different. The way you view the world is different.
That's true.
But it doesn't minimize the way you felt when you felt it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You ever meet somebody who got married in a month? Like on TV,
like,
you're like, what the fuck? You didn't even know that person, but they really could have been in love in that month. You ever watch the show Love Is?
That is my favorite show.
So
you
listen,
okay?
But listen, all that happened in 3-4 days.
It did. And that was so inspiring. I'm like, I want to fall in love in 3 days.
First love, in love, same thing.
Okay, so I guess I can relate with the 20% that say they agree with that. I'm like, I don't think that that's the same thing at all.
See, the thing is, people judging it based off of society, the way people talk. Because, like, like when you're young and then you get older, you're like, oh, I wasn't in love, that was bullshit. But you was.
You was?
You was. You just got older. So, your idea and your definition of love changed.
Yeah. Pretty
much. It's just like marijuana nowadays. Like before when I was younger, if you smoked weed, it was like you were smoking crack.
Right.
Older people would look at you like you was crazy. They smelled that weed. They would call you. They had all these weed commercials, lots of brain frying. But now look at it.
Yeah.
Everybody's everywhere smoking weed, and government officials are smoking weed. It just changed everything. Everything just changed once perception changed. Nothing is real. I mean, everything is perception.
Okay.
Now it's perception. I mean, that's the way I look at everything. Everything is perception. I mean, whatever it is, homosexuality, whatever it is, like once society's perception of it changed, the definition of it changed.
Okay.
So I think that's what happens when you fall in love the first time. It's puppy love because you're young, but you really are in love. Your feelings get hurt. You don't answer your phone, you really be upset.
Yeah.
The bad effects don't change. When you're 21, you don't answer your phone, you still looking
at
it.
To fight you now.
Then you want to fight. Now you can get in your car and go look for him.
Yeah,
it's different. Before you couldn't do that. You had to wait by the phone. You didn't have a cell phone when I was 14, so everything was a cordless phone. So you sat all day where you checking your call ID box. Oh my God. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look. Yeah. You was in love. Nothing changed.
Okay, I guess I could. Alright, so you just changed my point of view. I'm like, wait, no, that's two different things.
Right.
I don't know why. Okay. But that was my little question for the first section.